Welcome to the 2019 Canadian Championship Final. And the Battle of the North continues here tonight in the great city of Montreal. The battle started with 13 combatants. Now we're just down to the final two. Who for the next two legs will fight, scrap, and score their way to our National Club Championship? The prize? The Voyageurs Cup. It's the three-time champions, the Montreal Impact, facing a familiar and fierce foe in seven-time Voyageurs Cup winner, Toronto FC. The Cup, bragging rights, and a berth in the prestigious CONCACAF Champions League all on the line over the next week. But to achieve that stated goal and to get it over the line, you must get past your staunchest rival first. The 4-1 Derby, the Canadian Class C, call it what you like. It's the richest and most authentic rivalry in Canadian club football at present time. Never short on drama, twists, turns, heroes and villains. We hope you're ready for another roller coaster ride where seasons may be defined and the next chapter of this growing competition is written. It's the Impact with the impetus to put an end to the Reds running this competition, and for Toronto FC, they're within touching distance of their fourth straight Voyageurs Cup. 2 games, 1 champion to be crowned right here on One Soccer. A picture-perfect night to get us started tonight. In Montreal, we are back in Toronto Wednesday, 180 minutes plus to decide the Canadian champion for 2019. Let's go field level now for tonight's national anthem.
Vous levez, retirez chapeaux et casquettes et vous joindre à Mademoiselle Harry Sky pour l'interprétation de notre hymne national. Ladies and gentlemen, do the please now rise, remove hats and caps, and join Miss Harry Sky for the singing of the national anthem.
Au Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front est ceint de fleurs en glorieux, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep a land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
This is the 2019 Canadian Championship Final presented by Allstate. 2 teams with decorated pasts. Controversy between sides, between clubs, between players. We're looking forward to watch this ignite here tonight. For Wilmer Cabrera and the Montreal Impact, 5 changes from the team that lost 1-0 at home to lowly Cincinnati on the weekend. Out is the goalkeeper Bush, Aquanquo, Urruti, Lovitz, Camacho. In come a number of critical players for this team. Ignacio Piatti back in the team, a massive hit for the Montreal Impact, a Toronto FC killer over the years with 10 goals against Toronto. He hasn't scored more goals against any other side over the course of his Impact career. Right now in Major League Soccer, the Montreal Impact sitting in 8th place on the outside looking in for playoff spots, which makes tonight's game against Toronto FC just that much more important. The Impact, like Toronto FC, after this game tonight, will be heading out west to Los Angeles. The Impact to play the Galaxy, Toronto FC to play Los Angeles FC, the top side in Major League Soccer. Piatti with the captain's armband tonight. Well, no stranger to this competition. Michael Bradley, Toronto FC, one of their Ironmen on the side, the 32-year-old has really come on as of late, leading this Toronto FC team to be unbeaten in their last 9. Your match official tonight, Yusri Rudolph. This is the first time he's in the middle for a Canadian Championship final. He has been the 4th official before. He's refereed 5 games in the Canadian Championship, 3 in 2019, including a dramatic 2-2 draw at York Lions Stadium. The Montreal Impact getting a real scare, courtesy of York 9 from the Canadian Premier League. For Greg Vanney's Toronto FC side, 9 changes from their 3-2 victory over Colorado on the weekend. The only 2 players to retain their spots, the aforementioned captain in Michael Bradley, and right back Richie Larea, one of 3 Canadians in Toronto FC's lineup. He joins Mr. Voyageurs Cup, Jonathan Osorio, as well as Jacob Schaffelberg, the 19-year-old left winger from Port Williams, Nova Scotia. 10 appearances for Schaffelberg on the season. A veteran pairing at center back in Drew Moore and Laurent Simon. The 35-year-old and 34-year-old bring a whole lot of experience to Toronto FC's team. Look for Josie Altidorf to perhaps come on late in the game, get a good run in as the team makes sure he stays on point for the remainder of this season. Simon, no stranger to this rivalry. He's played on the Montreal side of things. In fact, has scored 2 goals for the Impact in 8 appearances in Canadian Championship competition. So some familiar faces, 2 vastly experienced sides, and we're underway. The first of 2 legs here in the Canadian Championship final. Gareth Wheeler with you, alongside a player that has had his own decorated past here in the Canadian Championship. Scored a goal as well. It is former Canadian men's national team member, Terry Dunfield. Terry, what are you looking for in tonight's game to set the tone for what we're going to see over the 2 legs?
I think for the Montreal Impact, in their last 2 games, they conceded against Cincinnati after 30 seconds, after 2 minutes against DC. So getting through that first 10 minutes unscathed is going to be very important for Wilmer Cabrera's side. And for TFC, just continuing that form, it's been excellent of late. I think both sides have made changes due to congestion, fixture list. There's a little bit of freshness. You need 3 Canadians also in your starting 11.
An early ball played out of touch by Alex Bono. All eyes are on the Toronto FC goalkeeper and a former Canadian Championship winner. In fact, back in 2016, made its debut for Toronto FC in this competition. He's gone 22 straight MLS games without playing, but he did backstop Toronto FC to back-to-back clean sheets against Ottawa in the semifinal round.
Yeah, I think there's a couple players in TFC's side today, Bono being one, Osorio, Schaffelberg, almost playing with points to prove they'll be hungry, showing that maybe potentially they could force their way into TFC's 11 down the stretch heading towards the playoffs. And I think Alex Bono's been a little bit unlucky. I think Quentin Westberg's been a big part of Greg Vanney's identity at TFC now, playing a little bit more out of the back.
Congested start here at Stade Saputo. Beautiful night, 13 degrees Celsius, calm conditions. Ideal footballing weather. The throw to Piatti. Larea is going to have his hands full here tonight. It's Boyan, who's almost playing like a number 9 tonight, too. Broguillard down the right-hand side. That's blocked by Justin Morrow, back from injury, back in the Toronto FC team. Foul right there, and Samuel Piette comes straight through Jonathan Osorio, his Canadian men's national team teammate. He can't believe it and goes face-to-face with Rudolph. That's Piette's game, limiting time and space.
I think TFC have a lot of pace high up the pitch, in particular out wide. Schaffelberg, Gallardo. It'll be important that they keep a little bit of balance when they're in possession so that they're not countered. Piette's so good in transition, getting that ball back. We just talked about Boyan. I think Boyan will be more of a false 9. You'll look to see him drop in. Lapalainen will run past him, the Finnish international. Piatti will come inside.
De Leon taking off the ball by Shamit Chom, one of the 3 Canadians in the Impact side. Ball played through. It's a race. Bono gets there first. Gets there before Lapalainen can. Broguillard, heavy touch. Schaffelberg all over him. Patrick Mullins leading the line. He scored in this competition last time out. 36-year-old Bakari Senya still playing. Shifted more inside. Can play that role for Wilmer Cabrera as well.
I think Senya's playing center back today, more just to get Broguillard in the side. Important that that you have 3 Canadians in the starting lineup. I like Broguillard, he's on loan from Lyon. Fullback with lots of athleticism, enthusiasm. He'll pick his moments to when to get forward. He's still developing, but I think his ceiling's very high. Wilmer Cabrera's just trying to change the identity of the Montreal Impact right now. They were very defensive-minded under Remy Gard. It's just been difficult for him, for his players to really buy into what he's selling when you keep getting beat each week. The only team he's beaten is the Vancouver Whitecaps at the moment.
A 1-3 record with the Impact for the former Houston Dynamo head coach. Good ball, Osorio to Schaffelberg. This is what he's known for, getting it behind the back line. Gallardo almost close. De Leon comes. Here's a secondary move.
Oh, he's sleeping at the back post, Gallardo. If he gambles, anticipates that. It's a tap in. Great move down the left-hand side for Schaffelberg. Gets in behind Broguillard.
Loré is quick, not that quick. It's been a big few months for the 24-year-old Richie Larea from Toronto. He's played 19 MLS games on the season. His first call-up for Canadian men's national team action against Cuba in the CONCACAF Nations League, which you can watch right here on One Soccer. Did well. Head coach John Herdman raving about the fit in his team. Look for Larea to feature prominently moving forward. Show him inside to Piatti. Good switch of play. Here is Broguillard, which is interesting. He's been pushed out since the Gold Cup, and Loré has stepped into that role.
Lorea's, I guess, tactical IQ, his ability to play and connect with good players around him is what's given him the nod. These are the half spaces Kurt Larson talked about in the pregame that the Montreal Impact will be playing for, either side of Michael Bradley.
Here's the dangerous Lapalainen overlap. Broguillard. Morrow closes that down. First corner kick of the match. You see what they're trying to do, Terry? They're trying to draw the center backs forward, not having that typical target man. Need those players provided width, and that's what we're seeing so far.
Both sides, there's 4 out-and-out wingers playing really right now, and all the fullbacks aren't going to get a whole bunch of protection, and they're going to have to defend 2v1s, and we've already seen a couple develop.
Tyner with the out-swinging corner kick here in the 7th minute of play. Piatti on the far post, comes to him, cuts some space behind Osorio. Rudolph didn't see anything there. Ball played back in, Waitala. Combination of Moore and Simon clear. Good touch by Gallardo. Too much to ask that time for both Loré and Gallardo by De Leon. Was there anything there, Terry, on the far post?
Yeah, Piatti does well. The ball's just hanging in the air a little bit. I don't know whether Jonathan Osorio just took his eye off it. Piatti gets the wrong side of him. I don't think there was enough contact to give a penalty. I'm not sure if I'm Toronto FC if I like that matchup.
Oh, heavy touch by Bradley. Tyner right there. Ball won back. Tyner again. Piatti wide open. First touch let him down. Still has the ball inside the area. Bono takes. TFC let off the hook.
They really were. Montreal Impact's catalyst is Piatti's return from injury in the last game against Cincinnati. Just needs to get the dust off his boots there. I don't know whether the smoke bombs and the flares maybe played a role in that touch, but TFC caught in possession. Nice. It was a nice collective press from the Impact. They played across the pitch, and moving from Piatti to just pull off the center halves was great, and only technically so efficient.
TFC loves to build through Michael Bradley in the middle of the park with those players dropping a little bit deeper, Terry. It means he's surrounded by blue and black jerseys.
Yeah, it's a little bit. When Michael Bradley plays, whether it's TFC or for the U.S., if you stop Michael Bradley, you stop a lot of the build at times, and just watch Tyner. He's following him everywhere. The number 8 for the Montreal Impact. Be interesting to see whether Michael can pull him over the pitch, open up passing lanes for Osorio, De Leon, or the 2 center halves to step past Bojan.
Soft ball played by Simon. Lapalainen on the run. Simon slides through. A familiar sight here at Stade Saputo. He knows what this rivalry is all about. Some of the TFC players gave him a hard time when he came over to the team. They know how real and authentic this rivalry is. Made himself at home become a popular figure at the club.
Helped Montreal. The Impact achieved the playoffs, was very consistent. Helped the Impact play out of the back.
Lapalainen! Tied air, good ball. Found the Finn in between Simon and Morrow. Another threatening opportunity, threatening chance by the Impact.
I've been so impressed with Lapalainen on loan from Bologna since coming to the league. He almost just glides around the pitch, gets in between bodies extremely well. Reminds me a little bit of Steve McManaman. He's so good at taking the ball on the run as well in one stride. Just a real elegant player with great balance.
Was signed back on July 19th by Bologna, a big money deal, bringing him over from HJK Helsinki, where he scored 3 goals in 16 games. But you're right, very bright future, still young. Scored 4 goals in 8 games for the Impact. There is talent in this side, Terry. It's one of those things when Piatti only plays 9 regular season games, you really miss his influence.
It's a dangerous front four. Piatti, Taider, Bojan, Lapalainen. They all each offer something a little bit different. I think Lapalainen's deceptively quick as well. And then you add maybe Broguillard joining the attack. I think Raitella, the left back, is a little bit more stay at home. He's more of a center half. It'd be important that Piat and Shom sit underneath, just providing a little bit of balance.
Morrow steps up, limits space that time. Toronto FC got the better of Montreal in both meetings in the MLS season. Greg Vanney happy about that. In fact, you can argue the 2-1 home win after going down 1-0 in the second half looks to be a significant turning point for Toronto FC's season. They lose that game against Montreal. That climb up the Eastern Conference table is that much more difficult, and since that time, the team's been rolling.
Yeah, TFC's form has been sensational since the Gold Cup, and basically getting everyone back, integrating Omar Gonzalez, Benazet, who unfortunately has picked up a knock, Gallardo. TFC, the MLS standings started since the end of the Gold Cup, would be set 3rd in the league. Only New York City and LAFC ahead of them.
Piatti cuts inside, cuts back outside. Larea does well to recover. Drew Moore having a conversation. That's the one area of Larea's game, just defensive wherewithal, knowing when to check, knowing when to hold back. It's a work in progress, and it's good to have veteran experience like Drew Moore being in his ear.
Larea was probably wondering where his cover is. The last thing you want to do is be isolated 1v1 with Piatti, and I think Drew Moore's communication was to just keep him wide. You don't really need to win it there. Keep him wide, force him onto his left foot. The last thing you want to do is let Piatti come inside and open his hips up.
It's been a safe start for Toronto FC. Greg Vanney adamant. It's about how this plays out over both legs. Wants his side to be able to go home next week at BMO Field with a chance to go on and win this trophy, win the Voyageurs Cup with a convincing performance. They are 7-2 at BMO Field in the Canadian Championship against the Montreal Impact all time. 7 wins, 2 draws. Piatti, beautiful switch, using the width. Broguillard plays it across. Piatti's there again. This time it's Gallardo forced to recover, defend. It's not the matchup you want either. De Leon half clearance. Shom played that right back in. Shamit Shom. Piatti, the 34-year-old, second all-time in Canadian Championship goals. Bojan to Piet. Broguillard checked his run. Good ball across the 6. Moore's there. Danger again for Toronto FC.
Bojan's causing some problems. Just coming off of that front line, linking up play. Lapalainen's coming inside, which is creating a ton of space for Broguillard to come get forward from wide areas. This time it's a better ball. It's in behind the back line. Drew Moore's in a fantastic spot to deal with it. Bojan just misses it. Great run into the box to the near post after linking play. Just starting to get to full fitness now. Needed maybe 4 to 6 weeks coming off an off season.
Tight air, far post again. Gallardo flicks that on. Senya.
I'm seeing glimpses of Bojan's quality.
Scored a great goal at BMO Field in that 2-1 loss to TFC. Raitella. Lapalainen lets that run. Inside, Schoen closed down by Simon. All kinds of experience in Simon, and Moore might be lacking a step of pace, trying to make that up with guile.
Yeah, I'd say Vanny's cognizant of that, and one thing I've noticed in the last couple of months is TFC now just sitting a little bit deeper. There's not a ton of space in behind them that's exposed. The group's defending collectively much better, and at times too, they're not just sitting back, they'll press high collectively, but very rarely we see TFC now in a middle block.
Flag went up, Piatti, offside. Larea goes back to Moore.
Yeah, TFC are just trying to get to grips with this Montreal midfield, of the point forward, and just kind of how they're going to play through the lines.
Montreal was dangerous when these two sides played one another July 13th here at Stade Saputo. It was a 2-0 TFC victory as Gallardo returns. All kinds of time and space. Cabrera blocks. Gallardo gets that back. Rudolph tried to play advantage, was none. Another foul, Piet.
Well, they're just starting to add up for Piet. I like that movement. De Leon rolled out of that number 8 position. Gallardo came inside, and that little rotation created a little bit of space for Gallardo to get that strike off. Clearly you can see there, Piatti doesn't get the ball. Piet, sorry. The Canadian Bulldog.
That's what he is. 71 appearances for the Impact overall. Hasn't scored a goal. A lot of tackles like that, though.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent, especially in that home game for Canada without Atiba Hutchinson coming into camp.
Clement Diop might have some work to do. Bradley's serve is not there that time. Ball headed clear. Into touch for a throw.
I like what Greg Vanny said before the game. I don't think TFC could necessarily win the tie tonight, but maybe they could lose it. Just pick your moments and your opportunities when to commit bodies forward.
And speaking to Greg Vanny, how tonight goes will go a long way into what the team will look like against LAFC on Saturday night. They dig themselves a hole, maybe want to rest some players. If not, might want to give your regulars more of a run out Saturday night. Test yourself against the top team in MLS. Meanwhile, make sure that you maintain 4th spot in the Eastern Conference of MLS, which would ensure Toronto FC a first-round playoff home matchup. Moore scored a goal against Ottawa. Dancing on the ball there, as much as a 35-year-old can do.
I think that's indicative of, I think a lot of the players in the TFC camp are just enjoying their football right now. And I think there's players, you mentioned that Altidore wants to play, is itching to get out there. Players are just enjoying playing right now in this system. And I'd say in the last couple months, TFC have refound their identity. Team chemistry on the pitch is a little bit better. And I think the players understand what's required in each scenario or moment of the game, and it's just brought a little bit of clarity. The structure's right, and I think the players can still be innovative within it.
Undefeated in 9. They call it the rebuild on the fly after losing Javinko and Vasquez. Great change in the team. Good ball inside. Piatti! He does it again to Toronto FC! The TFC killer strikes Piatti from distance. Top corner! And the Montreal Impact take a 1-0 lead as a North bell rings.
What an incredibly clean strike. He just comes inside, shoulder of Michael Bradley, and watch how sweetly he catches this on the half volley. Nothing Alex Bono can do about that. One touch to set himself, but he strikes that so purely. It's an absolute rocket into the top corner. Has way too much time and space. That's his 11th goal in 13 appearances against TFC.
This is the 130th time that the North Star bell has rung, and it had to be Piatti, didn't it? 6 goals in Canadian Championship history for Piatti. That's joint best now with Sebastian Javinko, and a big goal as the Impact strikes first in this Canadian Championship final. We've seen that happen so many times to Toronto FC, you give him time, you give him space, he will punish.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's on De Leon on the weak side, your number 8 to come around. You can see it was just off him a little bit. Whether Bojan it just pulled off of Drew Moore, whether Drew Moore could have stepped into that space as it came across. It's a well-worked goal, and a moment of brilliance again from Piatti. Way too much time.
Piatti's 4th goal in the Canadian Championship in 2019. He's the leader for this year's competition. Imagine if he was fit for all the games. He was a danger man coming in. You cannot let the danger man strike, and that's exactly what Toronto FC did. As Montreal continues to have joy on the ball, Terry, TFC have back.
Let's be honest, in the last couple of years, Piatti has carried the Impact more or less on his back, especially the attack. Everything goes through Piatti. But I look at this front 4 of Montreal, and I'm very stimulated by it. I think they've got 4 weapons up there, so you can't just hone in on Piatti now. I think you've got true threats of Bojan, Lapalainen, and Taider. It's more of a complete attacking unit that the Impact have, and then you've got pieces like a Kwanko that can come into it.
So what do you do, Terry, if you're Toronto FC's back 4? They're begging you to step out, limit that time and space, yet Toronto FC's back line continues to play deep.
Yeah, I think either De Leon needs to come around and make it 2.
from everyone at One Soccer. Gareth Wheeler, Terry Dugfield with you. The good news, you didn't miss much. Putting a positive spin on things, but we do sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. We're back with you live from Stade Saputo. Nacho Piatti, he's got the goal that's put the Montreal Impact up 1-0. And thus far, Toronto FC with very little resistance and not many answers, Terry. The Montreal Impact have been fluid throughout.
Yeah, I like the word fluid. I think that's exactly what the Impact have been. And TFC, who since the summer, they've really found a rhythm. And I'm not sure whether it's changes today, whether it is the Impact. I think you've got to pay them some respect. They've really been on the front foot. Piatti scores an absolute rocket.
Piatti inside the show. Broguillard taking advantage of that space. Schaffelberg forced to track back quite a bit so far. To Bojan. Tider. King straight through, and another free kick coming up from Montreal Impact.
Yeah, that was a frustrated tackle. He's got a little service up top. Getting clever from Bojan. So quick with his feet. Gets his body in between Mullins and the ball.
Patrick Mullins, 2 goals in 6 games in MLS play. Came over for the Columbus Crew, Jordan Hamilton going the other way in the July trade. Ambitious to say the least by Cabrera, straight into the hands of Alituano. Games between these two sides in the Canadian Championship, 3-3-3 overall. Start from the Impact here, no doubt about that. They've needed this kind of start to raise the spirits in this team. Osorio to Schaffelberg. All the way back tomorrow. Sinon. Greg Benny loves to preach patience with his team. Bradley. Osorio, the second most appearances in Canadian Championship history. Bradley. So the MLS Team of the Week last week. Moore getting brave, stepping forward. Not a very good ball by Mullins, and here they go. Boyan, flag stays down. Simon forced to track back. He does the job. That's going to be another corner kick for the Montreal Impact. Drew Moore pitched. That patience, Terry, just wasn't there.
Yeah, actually, I quite like that rotation to get Drew Moore forward and pass Bojan, and then it was a poor square ball from Mullins. Bojan picks it up on halfway. And Simon does really well to take the speed out of the attack. He comes over at the cost of a corner. I spoke to Patrice Bernier before the game today, and he said it's been difficult with losing so many games and conceding first. Joey Saputo was in the changing room after the game against Cincinnati, the owner of the Impact, frustrated, calling the players out a little bit, losing a couple games at home. And what Pat said is you're trying to sell and teach the players a new brand of football and almost change the identity from a real defensive mindset to an attacking one. But when you keep losing the players, kind of go back to their old habits. It's like when you play golf and you go back to that bad golf swing after you hit a few bad shots that was never working really before. It's important that the players trust in the new regime, and said it was getting to the club on a little bit. It's important that the team continues to take game by game.
Well, it's much better thus far here tonight. Bojan again to Broguillard. It's almost playing like a right winger here tonight, getting way up the pitch. Schaffelberg forced to track back. Shome, how many white jerseys are back? Shami Shome, the 4th-year engineering student at Concordia. He's doing his university degree right now, and not a course that I would have taken, Terry. Rocks for jocks. It's an actual engineering degree. Quite impressive. No call there.
I think he's really improved this season. His passing's much cleaner. It's more positive. He's breaking lines with it. He's always got around the pitch extremely well. He's got a great engine. He's intelligent. Technically, he's improved. Sometimes, as they say, it takes maybe close to 40 games to really see whether a player can hack it at the MLS level or USL level, whatever it might be. And he's getting close to that mark now, and definitely doing a job for the Impact.
Different paths for different players. Started at the University of Alberta to FC Edmonton. Generation Adidas, drafted in the second round by the Montreal Impact, is being patient, bided his time, but now featuring prominently 25 MLS games this year.
Jeff Paulus did a great job with him in Edmonton. Came through the academy there, and I think everything just came a little bit too quick for him. Just needed a little bit more time to develop at the Impact and starting to pay rewards. Yeah, I think he's jumped over Krolicki.
Piatti, a wonderful goal in the 18th minute. So Piatti, pow, 54% possession for the Impact, and that's going just one direction. Piatti spins De Leon, cuts inside. Bradley recovers. Good help from the captain, the general. Schaffelberg, this is where he's most dangerous in transition. Jacob Schaffelberg inside to Mullins. Mullins has a go. When the chances aren't coming, sometimes you maybe try something a little bit more rash. Mullins tested his luck from distance.
Yeah, September 7th, he scored a great goal from distance against Cincinnati. It was never on. If he got in his head up and had a little bit more awareness, he could have dummied it to Jonathan Osorio, but great play in defensive transition from Michael Bradley to pick the pocket of Piatti, who's been fantastic so far through the first 31 minutes.
Good touch by Boyan. Tight air. Some players of very good pedigree. Boyan in Barcelona, and spent a lot of time at Stoke City, but then you throw in Roma and Ajax and AC Milan. Incredible the clubs he's played for. Tight air.
Stoke.
Yeah, he's used to windy nights. In tight air, 46 caps for Algeria, Bologna, Inter Milan.
Some top footballers out there. One thing you're seeing too is the player in possession at the moment's got a lot of options off the ball. The movement's been great.
Mora not connecting thus far with Schaffelberg.
The movement's a little bit awkward. They're getting into difficult spaces. The reference points or TFC are struggling to pick up right now. It's important for TFC after conceding early to not go out and chase the game and maybe concede another one right away. It's not the end of the world.
Osorio wins that on Piat. He's down. Schaffelberg. TFC with numbers. Too slow. TFC didn't move it quick enough. Here's Bradley. To Moore. De Leon. Nope. Easy pickings for Piatti. To tight air. Boyan coming back from an offside position. It's Lapalainen switching flanks. Turns Gallardo. Moore just gets stuck in. Dangerous ball. Boyan was there. Got away with it. No one seems to want to put their foot on the ball for Toronto FC. Deferring, not quite sure where their options are. Another giveaway. Tight air.
Montreal's doing a great job in defensive transition too, hunting, getting that ball back when they lose it.
Chom.
Gallardo was a little bit deep there. Should have been him pressing him.
He's taking advantage of the press. Piet pulls him down. Well, that's not his first foul. There were players behind.
screen the back three or back four. He's been given license to get forward now, and it was a great step from midfield. I think it was probably a good professional foul from Piet. Spoil the attack. Easy yellow card for Rudolph to get.
Yellow card rule is in effect. Tyner, Sean, Brogiard, 3 of the 6 Impact players who are on a yellow. Another yellow here tonight would mean they would miss the return leg in Toronto next week. So Piet needs to be careful, not the first time. Simon's going to step up and take this. I think that's even a little bit far out for Simon's range.
It's not far off where he scored LAFC's first ever goal.
He's going to take it. Simon forcing a save from Diop. Who am I to question the wrong? Ball played back in. Best chance for Toronto FC coming 40 yards out.
Yeah, it was knuckling a little bit. Diop goes out with 2 hands, which was wise.
A familiar sight for Impact fans.
Such a good footballer, so comfortable in possession.
Maybe that will settle Toronto FC down a bit. Diop's a goalkeeper. He's only played twice in the Canadian Championship. Hasn't played an MLS game. It's been Andrew Bush's job. Got to test the goalkeeper. It's the first time they really did so here tonight. Larea. Simon.
I think that's the solution for TFC. Just roll your midfielders, De Leon and Osorio out. Create space for others in that number 8 position.
This is better from Toronto FC. Straight back to Larea. Osorio. De Leon. Back to Larea. Plays it out wide. Gallardo. Close. Behind Schaffelberg. Schaffelberg. What a stop. Diop. It's Schaff. It's a big save. Clement Diop to the rescue.
Are you kidding me? What a strike from Schaffelberg. I can't believe he took that on his right foot. Great first touch. And then on his right foot, it's going straight into the top corner. Great athleticism from Diop to tap it around. Love the awareness.
Simon! Clement Diop. Did he get a piece?
Yeah, it might be offside. Free header just around the penalty spot, but great awareness from Lorraine to know Gallardo was outside him. Such a difficult technique coming away from goal to swing your foot around it.
Yeah, Hicks Mullins, who was in an offside position. Good shout from Terry Dunfield.
Great technique from him.
Schaffelberg's still a teenager.
He's struggled defensively so far tonight. At the moment, Brogiard's just giving him the runaround a little bit. He's not sure whether to stick or twist. Got in behind him early doors. Put a good ball into the box, but TFC's best moment by far. The interplay was a bit cleaner around the box.
Schaffelberg burst onto the scene, signing a contract, homegrown contract, joining Toronto FC from TFC2. Not many people were aware of this young Canadian from the great province of Nova Scotia, and he just burst on the scene. He took an alternative path to become a professional, went to prep school, the same school that Jack Harrison of Leeds United, formerly of New York City FC, he went to, scored bags of goals. Toronto FC were patient, got that homegrown contract under the line, and impressed him in the gate. Now, the one thing he hasn't done is score a goal. But he's been very good, and TFC supporters like what they see in the young Canadian.
Yeah, he's so direct, ridiculously quick. A little bit like Damien Duff. I think his game needs to just evolve a little bit more as he develops. He's got Y1 for sure, but does he have Y2 and 3 depending on what the opposition do? Just a couple more outs. His final ball is definitely improved.
Sanya, does he keep that in? He does, throwing Toronto FC.
He's got incredible work rate up and down that left-hand side.
De Leon. sticks his mark. Career year here in Toronto for Nick DeLeon. It's been a better 5 minutes here for Toronto FC, still down a goal. DeLeon to Simon.
I don't like this from the Impact. I thought they were a little bit better when they're on their front foot, pressing higher, getting up the pitch. I think if they sit back like this, TFC will pick them off. It's not a team really built to defend.
Gallardo to DeLeon. Looks like he came off Cabrera last.
Should be a corner.
Linesman says no. Not sure about that one.
That's frustrating. It was an easy one for him. Been there, Nick.
DeLeon, 8 goals in all competitions for Toronto FC.
I think his versatility has been important for TFC too. He's playing attacking midfield role. He can play on the wing. Played at fullback against New York City.
Greg Vanny once upon a time played for his father Leroy, where he was under 12 playing in Arizona, so there's ties that bind between the DeLeons and the Vannys.
So I take it you were watching the Champions League. How did City do, by the way?
They won. They came away with a clean sheet. Something that, over Toronto FC being undefeated in 9, not one clean sheet over that span. That's the one thing. They've been giving away goals, Terry. Not many goals, just a goal here, a goal there. They've been much better defensively. But whether it's Alex Bono, Quentin Westberg, being able to see games over the line, whether it's them, whether it's the team in front of them, just hasn't come together. At least in MLS play.
I wouldn't say TFC have been broken down. It's either in moments of brilliance like the Piatti goal today or errors that have cost TFC in recent months. And that's frustrating.
Diner inside, Bojan to space! Bojan!
Look
Back
outside.
of the nets!
Sure to kill your game.
Flag did go up, it's coming back. Bojan scored last time these two sides met. Looking for a moment. Stays on 1-0.
Yeah, close. Look at the left back at the top of your screen. Morrow almost plays him onside. Great step from Drew Moore. He's been excellent tonight. Played almost 200 games for Barcelona.
But Bojan, Lapalainen, Tyler, and Piatti get on the ball. It's just causing all kinds of problems for Toronto FC. So close, no goal. The away goals rules apply here in the Canadian Championship Final like they have throughout this expanded Canadian Championship competition. 13 teams, the biggest ever, a new record in terms of attendance at this year's Canadian Championship presented by Allstate, 122,226. Oh, giveaway, Gallardo, too easy. Joel gets there before DeLeon. DeLeon needs to be careful. He's one of the Toronto FC players who is on a yellow, and he picks up another one tonight. He'll be unavailable for next week.
I showed him just a little bit too quick for him there. Didn't see him coming. Gets away from Gallardo. Look at the strength here from Piatti. Gets off. The Venezuelan goes over. Here we see Sean just nip in ahead of the veteran DeLeon.
Tyler. Goal scorer Piatti. There was 79 goals as a Montreal Impact player. Piatti, or Piet to Piatti. Nope. 34-year-old Argentine can't keep that in play.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk that Piatti wants to go back to Argentina, finish his career off there, and this was his last big deal. It's up this year. I'm sure the economics were perfect, but real fan favorite, and it's almost forced Joey Saputo into re-signing him on a big number.
De Leon's right to the final minute of the 45. Laurent, Gallardo. Back to De Leon. Bradley, time. Sorio. Two players just not connected. Broguillard read that like a children's book.
I think Shackelberg, there's room for him to make a run inside.
Where is Broguillard? He's been good this half. Plays it inside. Piatti slips past Moore. Gets past Simon. De Leon doesn't get past him.
One trick too many. Great feet for Piatti. Another marauding run from Broguillard down the right-hand side. I don't think he needed that last feint. Could have either stepped past De Leon or there's an overload down the left-hand side. Might have been tied there.
Piatti catches Laurent. De Leon tells me Laurent's like a throwback player, a dying breed of players that love that tackle, love to get stuck in. Change being made by the Montreal Impact is Boyan coming off here in the first half stoppage time. He's going to be replaced by Maximiliano Urruti. So an injury ends Boyan's night early. Looked good. Now the goal called back was offside. It's been a real threat. This is a real loss for the Impact. Boyan still just 29 years of age. All those games with Barcelona and Stoke and across Europe. It's a lot of mileage, but he's run his race tonight. Urruti's coming on here for the final seconds of the first half. We'll get word from our sideline reporter Louis Becco on the status of Boyan, what happened. One Soccer Studio crew will break it all down for you. Andy, Ollie, Kurt. Complete halftime coverage here on One Soccer. More. Mullins. Shackelberg. Nope. Extra time being added on by Yusri Rudolph with the substitution being made. Slow one to make, we're assuming. Can't be much more time left. Placement, power. Piatti's strike had it all. It came in the 18th minute. Found some space, hit from distance. No chance for Alex Bono. Made it 1-0 for the Impact. A better final 15 minutes of the first half from Toronto FC. Jacob Shackelberg coming closest to beating Diop. But it's this man who remains the Toronto FC killer. Piatti's on the board, the Impact on the board. They lead 1-0 through 45 minutes. Work to do for Toronto FC. The Montreal Impact and Ignacio Piatti lead 1-0 through 45 minutes at Stade Saputo. Great goal from Piatti, his 11th overall against Toronto FC. His 6th in this competition, drawing him level with the great Sebastian Giovinco for the most in Canadian Championship history. All kinds of experience in this Toronto FC side. Not their best half of football. We've seen much better as of late. What have the Impact done well, and where does Toronto FC need to improve, Terry Dunfield?
I think the Impact approached it like it was a cup final and a must-win game, and were really on the front foot and brought it to TFC. And TFC's mindset was almost as they approached it, and it's true, like it was 180 minutes, and they were going to play their way into it. I think it took TFC a little bit to sort of get past that front four of Montreal and the build, but full credit to the Impact. It was a missile from Piatti into the top corner. It caught TFC sleeping a little bit, but since the goal, it's been pretty equal in my opinion. No team's really bossed it. There hasn't been too many clear-cut opportunities. A nice volley from Shackelberg and a good save from Diop, and Bojan offside. He's now out of the game. But I think Greg Benny now has seen enough, and he said, right, I'm going to make some changes.
Well, the double change here, TFC's two leading goal scorers, Alejandro Pozuelo and Josie Altidore, come into the match. They replace Patrick Mullins and Erickson Gallardo. That Toronto FC, that right side of the attack, not having too much punch through 45 minutes. Now they turn to their big guns for the next 45.
Yeah, I think you'll see Pozuelo come inside for De Leon. De Leon will play on the right wing, and it's a straight swap for Altidore and Mullins. Mullins wasn't his cleanest or best performance from TFC, and he'll be disappointed with that 45 minutes of football.
The one change was made right before half by the Montreal Impact. Rudy comes in for Bojan. It's being called a right leg injury for Bojan. A big miss for the Impact. The four-man attack was very good. Now it's time for Rudy. It's his turn, a player that's featured prominently in this competition.
It'll be interesting. He's definitely a Remy Gard player signing. His movement won't be as maybe creative or as unpredictable as Bojan. He'll be more of a focal point up top, and he'll look to play in Lapalainen, Taider, or Piatti on the left-hand side.
Senya. Best chance in the first half coming from Jacob Schaffelberg. Simon threatened on a free kick from distance. Let's see what Pozuelo and Altidore can do, and how that maybe changes the way Toronto FC plays. Looks like De Leon's going to shift out to the right-hand side. Pozuelo calling De Leon forward, so Pozuelo will play more inside, in behind Josie Altidore with De Leon. We talked about his versatility, moving out wide. Raytala plays that ball long. Moore.
Might have been a pre-planned change for Greg, thinking with LAFC on the weekend, maybe Gallardo just playing 45 minutes.
Osorio turned into trouble. Lapalainen right there. Piatti, good ball through. Lapalainen offside. Flag stays down. Urruti. From distance, Piatti again stings the gloves of Bono. Had to make sure of that one. Piatti said, hey, why not try it again? Lapalainen played through by Piatti. They held it up and gave Nacho another chance.
Yeah, Lapalainen does really well to win the ball and then break the lines by running forward. Eventually it comes to Piatti, set up nicely. Comfortable really for Bono, but why not when you've already scored a 35-yard screamer in the first half?
It almost looked like Lapalainen could have carried on his run. I think he believed he was offside, ended up turning it back. Osorio. Schaffelberg. Early ball to Pozuelo. Osorio.
It's interesting with Pozuelo on the pitch already. He just breaks out of the structure a little bit. He's hunting it. He's all over the place. You can see now De Leon has no support. The attack ends.
Larea comes forward. Pozuelo, 11 goals, 11 assists on this season. It's been a long year. Went from a European schedule straight into his North American MLS schedule. Here he is. Good touch tomorrow. Schaffelberg. Piet closes that down so quickly. Big tackle by Piet. Ball does run into touch, throwing coming up for Toronto FC.
It really leads by example. I know Piatti has the armband today, but he's a successor to Patrice Bernier. Piatti, he'll be the longtime captain of the Montreal Impact. Real tenacious midfielder.
Piatti leaves that high right into the Loreas of Richie. He goes down. Saw one right there.
Phil
Lorea was held back deep for most of the first half. He's at his best when he's going forward.
Yeah, it's interesting. On paper, I don't really like the relationship of Lorea and Gallardo. It's a little bit too vertical, in my opinion. I think with De Leon coming inside or going extremely wide, it'll suit the qualities of Lorea a little bit better. It's also very vertical on the left side. Morrow loves to bomb forward. Schaffelberg doesn't really come inside.
There's different types of wing players, and coaches today love when those inside players come inside in attacking areas closer to goal.
You just don't want players playing on the same line as one another. And again, you can see it there.
De Leon tries to muscle his way through. Itala, the other fin on this impact side. This time Piatti goes down. The hands of Pozuelo.
But as much quality as Pozuelo has, and it's undeniable, and I understand why TFC spends so much money on him already. In 5 minutes, you see him pop up all over the pitch. Sometimes he's pressing, sometimes he's not pressing. For his teammates, sometimes he's difficult to play alongside. And I think since Greg took him out against the Montreal Impact, rested him at home for that first half, and he came on and set up the goal off the bench in the MLS game, his structure's been a little bit better, and I think that's added. That's a big part of why TFC are picking up more points.
Really good turn by Lapalainen. Here come the impact. Taider. He's been excellent. Set up the Piatti goal. Broguillard to Taider. Familiar spot for Toronto FC. We're down 1-0 at BMO Field in Montreal. Impact free kick coming up. Taider draws it before Delgado and Morrow scored. Come from behind victory.
The only difference is now TFC have 3 halves to get the game back. They don't need to necessarily go out and win the game today. I know Greg's main change is bringing on Altidore and Pozuelo, and he wouldn't have been happy with the first half. But it's important that TFC don't go out and chase it and leave holes in the back.
Taider to take. Good ball.
Great ball.
Piatti, Lapalainen just couldn't get there. Good quality from Taider. Morrow. Sanya, 2-time PFA Team of the Year. They played with Arsenal. Won an FA Cup there as well.
I was thinking in the first half, what a great player for young Canadian Broguillard to really learn to trade from. I think that's something that's undeveloped and that's very underappreciated in young players developing. Just learning from pros. Liam Fraser learning from Michael Bradley comes to mind. Young Julian Dunn in TFC squad learning from players like Simon and Drew.
You heard a few boos there as Simon was on the ball. The crowd letting him hear it. Former Impact player. Moore had the giveaway. Lapalainen in by the back line. Chips ball wide. A wonderful ball over the top. And Lapalainen that close to doubling the Impact lead.
Yeah, TFC caught high. Great outside to in run. Really, he has to score. Anything on target's in. He's been my pick of the game so far. What about the quality of the ball as well? As soon as it's got time and space, the 2 center halves of TFC have to drop it. There's no pressure on it. Protect that space. Got caught ball watching.
All came from a giveaway by Moore. Lapalainen had multiple options there. Over the top like he went. Could have played it to the side. Could have taken a touch.
They could have slotted it near post as well. Good point.
Did well to stay on side again. No VAR here in the Canadian Championship, which may be music to the ears of many.
It's really difficult to pick up that run from deep.
Schaffelberg. De Leon. Time to Pozuelo. In behind Osorio. Back out to Morrow. Oso. Good touch around Piet. Not sure if he was looking for Altidore or De Leon. De Leon does well to put pressure on the ball. Rotella.
I thought it was on there for De Leon to just take a touch and let rip.
Hesitated, didn't he?
Yeah, and sometimes you get that when you play with DPs and big names. Sometimes you sort of force the ball into them a little bit when they want it. No, there, Pozuelo demanded it.
It's better. Pozuelo is trying to move that ball a little quicker. Things being rather slow at times for Toronto FC. They love to play with pace. Morrow.
Yeah, the identity of TFC is to do exactly this. Fix Montreal over here. And then play for that weak side.
That's Schaffelberg with the giveaway. Rudy is down. Impact now are going to carry on. Rudolph's going to allow Rudy to get some treatment. Maxi Urruti, 28 years of age, 3 goals, 6 assists on the season. The players at the disposal of Wilmer Cabrera. Let's take a look, see what could have happened. Just Schaffelberg catches him from behind. Didn't look much in it, did there?
Yeah, I don't think there was a whole bunch in it. Argentinian goes over a little bit easy. Maybe a bit of game management. Spent 2 minutes with TFC after coming up from Newell's Old Boys.
Right.
Did really well in Portland and Dallas, and I thought it was just a bit of a sign that Montreal were for real this year when they brought in a player like Urruti. Since DeVayo, Didier Drogba, there hasn't really been that number 9 up top, and I don't think it's quite played out as the front office of the Impact would have thought. Maybe that's why Bojan comes in.
It was seemingly for ages Urruti was linked to Toronto FC. Then he came and went in a cup of coffee just like that. Is that a decent MLS career?
I think part of it was just he took a DP slot and unfortunately was pushed out. I don't think anyone at the club doubted his quality, but we're looking for a little bit bigger name.
Schaffelberg's just 19 years old. You know the player a little bit. Do you think he'd be intimidated by an older player having a word like that?
No, I think he's oblivious. At times he's just a little bit too honest.
Schaffelberg slides through. More. Sorio.
I think that chance that Lapalainen put wide upon his goal might be one that comes back to haunt the Impact.
Piatti came close in the first half as well. Back with multiple good chances in the first half. TFC. Really, the Schaffelberg effort was just about it. Cabrera. Lapalainen. Tight air. Both of those two have been excellent. Tight air scored in the Canadian Championship. It was a late, and I mean late, penalty against York 9. 90+2 at York Line Stadium. It was a 2-2 draw. In fairness, that third round tie between York 9 and the Montreal Impact. Too close for comfort for the Impact. A 1-0 home victory after the 2-2 draw, which York 9 really should have come away with something more than what they did.
It was a great goal at York 9 Stadium. Ryan Telfer's strike, what a strike that was. The Impact didn't get past Calgary either easily. That was a tough tie.
It was 3-1 on aggregate against Cavalry of the Canadian Premier League, who dispatched of the Vancouver Whitecaps. Refreshing to Canadian soccer supporters. Really seeing the tournament go coast to coast to coast this year. 13 teams, never bigger. Cavalry with the upset of an MLS side. Storylines aplenty, and this tournament trending in the right direction, trying to bring more teams into the equation.
I love it. It's got more of a feel of the FA Cup.
And it helps when some of the newly founded Canadian Premier League teams do so well in this competition from the outset.
As a player, you just want opportunity. You want to show that you can compete with the best. And you've seen it's not a million miles off the CPL.
And the players are curious as well. Michael Bradley with the comment yesterday. There was no disrespect to the Ottawa Fury. They were hoping to make a trip out to Halifax for the semifinal round. So there's a curiosity in the league, and players have done well. Ryan Telfer, aforementioned player on loan from Toronto FC with York 9, and received a call up to Trinidad and Tobago, played 2 games in the CONCACAF Nations League. So
Carducci called up to the Canadian men's national team after some good form and a ton of clean sheets for the Cavalry. It's great. It's just signs that our game is growing in Canada, picking up momentum. World Cup on the horizon.
Right here on One Soccer, we are your home for the Canadian Premier League, Canadian and women's national teams, Canadian championships, of course, as well as the Chinese Super League, Liga MX as well, all here on One Soccer.
Got a big game coming up next month as well.
USA, Canada from BMO Field. Tickets still available for that. It's a highly anticipated tie, and the FIFA rankings will be unveiled the latest tomorrow. We see Canada most likely climb, and victory over the U.S. could potentially take Canada over El Salvador into the top 6 in the Hex, which would qualify them for the Hex portion of World Cup qualifying 2022 Qatar. A much better route for any country to try to qualify for the World Cup, avoiding the 7 through 35 group where you need to play just about everywhere and anywhere. An arduous task to try to be that one team that survives and has second and third chances to go in the back door.
So I agree with John Herman. I think this could be one of the biggest games in the last 10 years for Canada against the U.S. And if Canada can beat them, this might be that game that really galvanizes the country, that really gets behind the men's program. And there's been a couple moments that the men's team hasn't been able to take that big game against Honduras. Canada were looking odds on to play against Mexico in the Gold Cup. It didn't quite pan out, but I think the team will be better for what happened against Haiti.
Here's Bradley. He'll be on the field October 15th for the United States, along with Altidore.
There's some great storylines. And I thought the reaction against Cuba was excellent. Had to go through a little bit of adversity, like the Neil Henry red card in the second leg. Were unbelievable at home, putting 6 past Cuba.
We'll have that game for you right here on One Soccer. And we'll have the game for you next week from BMO Field as well, with the panel live on location.
I know we've got to get back on this game, but how good is Jonathan David?
No kidding. Terry Dunfield's claim he will be on a Champions League side come next season. Is that your bet?
I just think maybe if a so-called smaller team gets out of the group stages, I don't think it'll be a Bayern Munich, but a team, he won't be cup-tied, and he could be picked up easily in January if a team's got a little bit of money to spend for the knockout stages. So much potential, still so young. And nothing phases him.
You can join the likes of Alphonso Davies, who's Bayern Munich side. Beat Red Star Belgrade today. Milan Borjan, the Canadian #1.
I know the Impact fans will want to hear this or be reminded what a result for Jesse Marsh. Red Bull Salzburg.
Pozuelo. Oh, we had Altidore. Altidore maybe just angled his run a little bit. Just a bit too much of an ask. Pozuelo to Altidore.
Yeah, I like the line of engagement from the Impact. That back line was just a little bit deeper where there wasn't a ton of space for Josie Altidore to run into.
Altidore with 10 goals in the season. Scored them in bunches as well. Lorea. Gets past Reitala. Cuts inside. That's kind of been the story of Lorea as of late as well, to get past the defender. That final ball, that final product just lacking a little bit.
Yeah, just a little hesitation. I don't think he needed that extra touch. Squared Reitala up extremely well. Reitala's not comfortable in those wide channels. Goes past him comfortably. Just deliver. You don't need to be precise with that delivery. Just wrap a ball into the box for Big Josie.
Good hold up by Pozuelo. Bradley looking for options. Here's Osorio. He has some time. Comes to Schaffelberg.
Again, too long. Didn't need that extra touch. First touch put him past Broguillard, and there's some space in behind that back four. I wonder if Oso could have played a ball around the corner. Michael Bradley taking up a nice spot. That midfield three is a little bit more fluent.
Second corner of the match for Toronto FC. De Leon comes near post. Altidor's on the far post.
Aro just trying to hold the corner flag. He's never going to get away with that.
Bradley. Far post. Drew Moore's there. Lapalainen.
Grabbed a bit by Shaman Shomo. Just saw Marky Delgado out of the picture. I think him and Benazet, sometimes you don't realize how much you miss players till they're taken out of the team. And I think their qualities, how quickly they move the ball, the tactical kind of understanding of what Greg Vanney wants is important.
Pozuelo's going to take from this side. Far post again, looking for Drew Moore. Showman and Senya come together. Too long for Simon, and Piatti gets his head up. Good ball down the line. Arruti. Lorea cuts down that pass.
There's the difference between Urruti and Bojan. Bojan will create something. He'll take that 1v1. Not a whole bunch came from Urruti there.
Pozuelo, good ball. Altidore! Another stop. Diop.
Cabrera, don't get tight to Altidore. He's just going to roll you like that. A little bit of a Hollywood save from Diop. He used to play for the LA Galaxy. Watch Altidore just use his strengths to roll Cabrera. I'm not sure Diop needed those theatrics, but that's the kind of service Josie Altidore thrives on.
That's textbook Josie Altidore. Ball to feet, let him do damage. Another corner kick coming up.
You come here. You come here. Go.
Looks a little bit more powerful this year.
A big body, 3 game winners. Scored the goal that clinched it here on July 13th. A wonderful free kick from distance. Another injury issue as looks like Shamit Sham.
It was interesting to listen to Kurt Larson talk about the rivalry moments, the big moments that stand out for you. One that stands out for me was in the second leg of the semi-final, and I believe it was 2016, that header off the corner kick from Josie Altidore. Nice slip pass there from Pozuelo. And of course the Benoit Cheroux header late on.
The ties between these sides have been something else. Most memorable Eastern Conference final, Major League Soccer history.
I can't believe the impact going 3-0 up.
Pozuelo in the mixer. Senya, half clear, just pops it up. Falls nicely to Piatti. He was looking for that. Altidore saying, come on, man. Piatti gets up. Does enough to draw the free kick.
I ask Mauro Biello about it all the time, that tie, the now assistant coach of John Herdman with the Canadian men's national team program. And he still shakes his head. He's got no response. He just can't believe what happened in 2016. It was there for them.
Well, it was that. Then follow that up with the second leg Canadian Championship final in 2017.
Oh, the Javinko one?
95th minute winner, Sebastian Javinko, to win that tie. Back and forth game. Really good goal by Balou Tabla.
That's right.
Put himself on the map at that point.
I was watching the highlights of it. It was a great cutback from Raheem Edwards, who's now a Canadian at Chicago Fire.
Senya.
Oh. Steady on, youngster.
Class is permanent, isn't it? Might have lost a step. Used to just bomb down the right-hand side. For the Gunners.
Galatasaray, his best spell was definitely with Arsenal.
It's actually the player of the year at Zaire before he made that move to Arsenal. Sean gets past Moore. He has options, 3 of them. Can he pick one out? Bradley gets back. Ball on a platter. Pietz. Punch clear. Bono. Piatti's turn. Plays it off Lorea.
It looked like a
had that call go his way against York 9 in the second leg.
That's right.
Right here at Stade Saputo, not this time.
I think he's going for that as well. He's that clever, Piat. He tried to bank it off his hand.
Tider weaves, fires. Whew, close. Did that come off a Toronto FC player? No, it did not. Tider, Piet, they all protest. Not going to turn it around.
Yeah, when players contest it like that, I think Rudolph's probably got that one wrong. I'm surprised he tried the side footer Piet there from distance. I think you need more power. Here we're going to see the Tider strike. Let's watch, see if it takes a deflection. Might have taken a slight one off Alex Bono late on. I didn't see an initial deflection.
De Leon was the closest Toronto FC player.
Yeah, but just going back to Piet's strike from distance, I think a side footer from 25 yards isn't going to be enough. I think you need to really put your boot through it. There's a lot of bodies it's got to go through as well. It could take a deflection.
Bono, an elite shot stopper, called up to the U.S. men's national team in March of 2018, played in a 3-0 victory over Bolivia. More. Lorea.
I love that first-time ball from De Leon. Good movement from Ponzuelo.
Lorea with the overlap inside. Schoen does well to close that down. 20 minutes to go.
He's quietly having a good game, Schoen. We saw him break from midfield, which led to that Piet strike.
De Leon.
To be honest, I wasn't convinced when he came to MLS whether he could make the transition. Just gradually improving, developing, getting better, working hard on the training ground. I think Remy Gard was good for him.
Piatti. Here's a Rudy. Needless giveaway there.
Yeah, globetrotter stuff. No need for the back heel.
Pozuelo, it just seems like Toronto FC short on options, whether it's running off the ball, Montreal closing them down.
The space is just not as good as what it's been in recent weeks. And God, the common denominators, Marky Delgado and Benazet.
That's a great challenge by Sanya. Altidore
Looked like he was in there.
He was in. Pozuelo had him. Pozuelo again loves to play that ball over the top. Comes out to Schaffelberg.
Yeah, that kind of De Bruyne ball from that inside channel when the defense sits off and he just hangs it up for Altidore at the back post.
Simon to Altidore. Rudy. Here's where Montreal's been so dangerous on the counter. Lapalainen's there. Tider to his left. He finds him. Tider takes a touch. Fires. Comes off a Rudy. Looks like last. Oh no! Saying that it came off a Toronto FC defender in a corner kick. The ball just played behind Tider. Looked like he was in alone.
Nice counter from the Montreal Impact. Again, Lapalainen full of running. Just watch the weight of his pass here. He needs to wrap this across the pitch as hard as he can. There's not enough pace on it, which allows Simon to get back. Tries to come inside and bend it into the top bin.
Final change coming up for Greg Vanny. Marky Delgado, he comes to the game. Jacob Schaffelberg's night is done through 74 minutes. Frustrating night for the 19-year-old.
Yeah, I thought the Impact shackled him well. I thought Broguillard did a great job of taking him the other way, but Schaffelberg will learn from that. He'll be better for that performance.
So the best chance on goal on the night for Toronto FC?
I think it'll be a change of system for TFC here as well.
He's having a word with Justin Morrow. Wonder if they end up pushing him forward, what this is going to look like. Or perhaps Jonathan Osorio slides wide left. Delgado. Greg Vanny loves his running. Oh, heavy touch by Simon. What was that? Lapalainen all over it. Rudy. Ball goes up. Was there contact with Bradley?
No.
Rudolph says no.
No, he kicks Bradley. Got a little bit of reputation in MLS of going over easy, embellishing. So he didn't need to go down against Schaffelberg about 15 minutes ago.
Larea holds his ground against Lapalainen.
Someone needs to get in Rudy's ear and say there's no VAR either. Look at him, he's fine. Got no time for that.
One thing he won't do is have a word with Michael Bradley. He can do that with Schaffelberg. He won't go over so well with Bradley. So Osorio comes wide left. Cuts in behind Piet. Good ball. Morrow. Sanya there again. He's been very good at the back. Piatti. Joe. Piatti pulling the strings, really. He's been excellent in attack. He's got the goal as well in the 18th minute. That's what separates these sides. 1-0 impact here in the first leg of 2.
Yeah, it looks like TFC have gone to more of a 4-4-1-1 with Pozuelo playing off with Josie Altidore, Delgado and Bradley in the middle of the park. Osorio just ahead of Morrow on the left, and De Leon on the right ahead of Larea.
Delgado scored the equalizer back at BMO Field August 24th in that 2-1 TFC victory. Pozuelo to De Leon, has Larea on the overlap. Pozuelo inside the area. Tried to cut it across. Not sure if he was trying to play that inside the 6 or finding Altidore.
Hopefully we're going to look at this replay. Watch this ball in behind. He just takes an extra touch to lay into the path of Pozuelo, which just kills that time. That's the little differences at this level.
Pozuelo. Simon's there. Falls for more. Piet. Half clearance. Bradley on the volley.
Yeah, why not? Better to shoot from distance there. Allows TFC to reset here rather than being caught on it. Trying to be too cute.
Lassie Lapalainen, his night is done in the 77th.
Yeah, this screams will be needed against the Galaxy. Quanko very good in transition. Tons of just raw pace.
Suits urging Quanko to come to the game at this juncture, especially with Toronto FC stretch, pushing numbers forward. Very good on the counterattack. Has 7 goals in 25 MLS games. He's also on loan from Bologna.
Greg Vanny not happy with the use of the body there.
Quanko was very good in that 2-0 victory for Toronto FC here. Had numerous chances, just couldn't beat Quentin Westberg that day.
Yeah, every time I watch him play, there's no in between. He's either very effective or struggles to get into the game. It's almost like winger life a little bit.
Good turn. Morrow recovers. Delgado spins into trouble. Difficult ask of Morrow. He gets there.
Test your thigh strain at 78 minutes. Coming back from injury, Justin Morrow.
Larea pulled back by Shom. He's on a yellow. Plays it right past him. See you later. De Leon. Nope. It's been that kind of night for Nick De Leon. Moore goes over.
He does well not to play that blind. I don't think he saw Rudy out of the corner of his eye. That's why he takes the extra touch. Good experience from Drew Moore. He was going to play it there, and then Rudy was just coming back from an offside position.
The away goal would be massive for Toronto FC going back home. Still want to keep things tight. Don't want to get burned on the counterattack, trying to push for something when you have the second leg coming up.
It's an interesting one now, with just over 10 minutes to go. I agree with what Sammy Piet said in his halftime interview, that really the way the game kind of played out in the first half, the Impact would love a second goal.
Altidore, good switch. De Leon, where are the runners? Loré is there. Across, Cabrera again. Corner kick. Toronto FC, number 6 on the game.
But I'd say if I feel a goal coming, it's probably TFC's way at this moment. Pozuelo and Altidore and Morky Delgado has shifted TFC into the ascendancy.
Pozuelo long again. Here's Delgado. Osorio to Simon, pitching forward. 2 players slide through, back to Osorio. Delgado.
He got that trick from Hazard playing for Belgium. A little Cruyff.
Larea, Montreal, still good shape defensively. Pozuelo, Altidore, straight to Diop. Flag goes up, it's offside. You're right, Terry. Toronto FC coming in waves. Second half possession up to 68%.
Just trying to create that cutting edge opportunity right now.
Toronto FC the most goals in the last 15 minutes of games in Major League Soccer. So effective, digging deep, finding a goal in the latter stages. Montreal need to see this out. Are they dropping a little bit too deep for you?
No, I think Greg Vanney will be happy. I think things like this will frustrate you. You're trying to build a rhythm, and at times it's been a little bit start-stoppy. I'd say if it finishes like this, TFC would probably be the favorites going into BMO for the second leg.
207th appearance for Justin Morrow in the Toronto FC kit here tonight.
He's been a great pickup from San Jose.
Bradley.
We could have left that belly on. And MLS, players with just experience that know the league, American passport are so important.
Bradley, Broguillard gets a touch. Morrow lets it go.
Your Drew Moores. I think TFC really missed Beta short.
Osorio, double team comes through the legs. Salad on Broguillard. Sanya's there. TFC continues to push. For all the possession, only 3 shots here in the second half. So Montreal holding that shape. They're the ones that are dropping deep.
Yeah, going back to the Remy Gard ways a little bit.
It's not the way that Wilmer Cabrera necessarily wants his team to play.
No, he wants his team to take risks and play forward. He's not overly tactical. He gives them a lot of license and encouragement to create opportunities. As long as there's options on the ball, he's happy. I think we saw that for periods in the first half. Not quite been the same in the second half. I think TFC have taken over control of the game, but what a wonder strike from Nacho Piatti.
Still more shots in Toronto FC despite conceding possession here. Now 43% possession for the game for the Impact, but outshooting Toronto FC 10-8 for those shots finding targets.
We touched on it a little bit. I don't know whether that Lapalainen chance will come back to bite you. Maybe not tonight, but next Wednesday.
Rudy. Simon goes to ground. Dangerous. Comes off Simon last. Anytime a central defender goes to ground, especially when a ball's rolling out of play, you know Toronto FC, they're holding their breath.
Yeah, I don't think he was actually going to necessarily win it. I think he was just helping shepherd it out of play, and if it hit his foot, great. He's been steady tonight, Simon. I don't think you can fault him on the goal. Just not sure whether Drew Moore should have stepped or De Leon could have been a bit deeper.
Moore, heads clear. Pozuelo puts it right back. Made life difficult for Osorio. Sanya tried to scoop it around. Does well to earn Montreal a throw. Impressive performance tonight from Bakary Sanya. He's only a year younger than you, Terry. Make you want to inspire you to put back on the boots. Terry Dunfield with a goal in the Canadian Championship, playing for the Vancouver Whitecaps.
I think I'll do the fans a favor and just stay in the booth. It's much easier from here. Oh, there's nothing like playing. I love playing in the Canadian Championships, and I was lucky enough to play in the CONCACAF Champions League, which is incredible. And throughout the championship, that's what's in the back of your mind, just the cherry of playing in the CONCACAF Champions League and what that could lead to, and potentially being the first MLS side to win it.
This is a significant moment right here. Tyder's picked up the caution.
An awful one,
That
too.
is his second, completely unnecessary. That means he's going to miss the second leg in Toronto next week. Tyder has done a job here tonight. He's controlled things in the middle of the park. He's put in a shift. He will not take part next Wednesday in Toronto. Mindless stuff, really. The cards were wiped after the second round of this competition.
Too many touches.
Piat takes it off of Pozuelos for a tight air. Piatti. Two players come over. Oh, tried to play that across back for tight air. Would have been a wonderful bit of invention by Piatti to free up tight air.
Yeah, if this result stands here, it'll be important for Wilmer Cabrera. It's been a tough year for him. He's battered really in Houston. Gets another opportunity, probably out of the blue, no pun intended, to come to the Impact. And results-wise, it hasn't really worked out. One or two question why you move Remy Gard out at this point of the season.
One of his wins did come up against Toronto FC while managing Houston Dynamo.
And I get what Joey Saputo's saying, that he wants to see an entertaining brand of football. And yes, they were in the playoffs, but wasn't happy with how the Impact were playing, sitting really deep and looking to counter from there. Wasn't exciting. And that's part of football, is fans want to be entertained. I know we're in a results business, but I think you can have both.
Big sliding challenge from Simon.
Especially in North America, we're still really growing the game.
Time will tell whether the move will pay off. Of course, Toronto FC, the start of Greg Vanney's reign, while in a playoff position similar to the Montreal Impact, ended up firing head coach Ryan Nelson at that time, brought in Greg Vanney, and he's been here ever since.
Good show.
Over 200 games with Toronto FC. MLS Cup champion, CONCACAF MLS Manager of the Year. His resume is a good one for Toronto.
He's built a legacy. And I think Wilmer just hasn't been able to build on his performance. Everything's been very reactionary to going down goals. And
Larea. Good help defending. Larea turns, gets some space. Pozuelo tried to play an Altidore again. Cabrera. He and Sanya have been there all night. Look out. Okonkwo gets behind Simon. Looking for help. Well, the help comes from the man in the white shirt, Marky Delgado, doing work to get back.
good defending from Simon. Unlucky not to win the first challenge. His balance was good and slows down the attack, which buys time, which allows Delgado to get back. I'm sure Alex Bono was doing in the net.
Both teams play in Los Angeles on Saturday night. Impact against the Galaxy, TFC against LAFC. Wonder if they'll share a flight. Altidore deflects. Diop. Made a couple big saves.
Why not? He just forced it a little bit. It was a great ball around the corner from Markey. A little bit of time. Why not? Shoots from distance. There's options down the right-hand side. Might have been better. Just let the play develop. Try to get on the end of the next one.
Sanya and Cabrera and company deal with Altidore tonight. The great Zlatan Ibrahimovic on Saturday night. It's a busy week for the back four for the Montreal Impact. Altidore, Cabrera sticks him. Strong challenge.
Yeah, nice step from the former River Plate man.
Tight air on the run. Okonkwo gets him behind the back line. Crosses 6. That's an important challenge. Drew Moore, reliable, sturdy, big challenge on Urruti.
Huge challenge. It's a great slip ball. Okonkwo does really well to dig that out and get it across. And Drew Moore stays with the play. Grandpa Drew with a big play.
He prefers Uncle Drew. Grandpa Drew will do. We're in the final minute of the 90. An important moment there by Drew Moore. We'll look back on that challenge and the Lapalainen miss.
But those are the qualities Okonkwo can bring.
Bradley over the top. Morrow spins it back. Zorio comes to a complete stop. Looking for options. Morrow, the service. No. 3 blue and black jerseys around Altidore. TFC win that back. Osorio. To Moore. So we're through the 90. Just waiting for confirmation for the time added on. Buzuelo flips. Nope. Diop. Easy pickings for the former Galaxy goalkeeper. Rudy's still down in the field as the play went the other way, still under the challenge of Drew Moore. He spent more time down on the field than he has on his feet since coming on. 3 minutes of time added on, and guess what? The meter's still running as Patrice Bernier has a word with Cabrera. And look at the flick over the top, nothing doing there. Right idea in terms of the distribution coming from Pozuelo as the stretcher of shame's coming out for Maxi Urruti. Three minutes finally being confirmed by Dave Ganter. Vastly experienced in Canadian Championship competition. So here's what happened right here. Well, his initial reaction was to look for the call, and he ends up getting taken on the field. I'll let the pictures describe as Urruti's being taken straight off. Now, the Impact do have one more substitution to make. And it's Clément Baya coming into the game. 20-year-old. Came through the Montreal Impact youth systems, played 9 MLS games on the season. So a late change. We hope that Urruti's doing well. Nothing sinister there. Professional challenge, an important one for and by Drew Moore. Delgado. So we can expect a couple more minutes be added on here. Piatti. Big challenge. De Leon. Piatti goes straight through it. Tabaya. Tight air. Oh, Simon goes down again. Goal kick.
Yeah, I think he gets the ball here. This time I don't think he needs to go to ground. If he doesn't get the ball, it's got penalty obviously written all over it.
There's always an element of risk with Laurent Simon.
Yeah, it was one of those moments.
Going back home down.
He's been good tonight, though.
Down 1-0, it's a lot different than 2-0, Terry. Trying to dig yourself out of the hole. Understanding you need at least 2 goals to even push it to extra time.
It is, and I think that's a picture-perfect scenario where you can't let Piatti build up speed and really drive at you. He rode a challenge. I think it went through De Leon and eventually led to Taider almost getting on the end of it.
Delgado plays it up for Altidore. Shoulder to shoulder. Cabrera goes down. No worries for Diop.
I think for his match fitness, this will be an important 45 minutes for Josie Altidore ahead of a trip to LA. Missed a couple games on the turf in Cincinnati, New England. Expect him to be a mainstay of the side.
It's going to be impact ball. Lorea cannot believe it. Again, Piatti using all that experience almost to run Lorea out of play. Israel getting in the mix. Not sure why Taider is in such a hurry to get on with it. This is the chippiness that we've come to expect when these two teams meet. Hasn't been a whole lot of it here tonight, Terry. It's been a very safe game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the ref gets it right, Rudolph. Definitely a Montreal throw. Correa obviously not happy with that. Fierce competitor. Looking forward to the second leg. It's poised nicely. We'll have a feel of the real Cup final in a week's time. But what a strike from Piatti. The real moment of brilliance that's defined this game.
The game wasn't a masterpiece, but Piatti's goal absolutely was. Scores for the 11th time against Toronto FC in his career. His 6 goals now in the Canadian Championship, tied for the most in the competition history. The first clean sheet under Wilmer Cabrera. Plenty to ponder for Toronto FC as they return home, a place they have not lost in the Canadian Championship against the Montreal Impact. A solid first half of the Montreal Impact, a lot of defending in the second half, but job is done for now as the second leg goes in Toronto a week from tonight.